Good morning and welcome to the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Cara Falco.
And I'm Dina Deleasa Gonsar. Thank you for joining us this morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just freezing.
Yes, it's very cold today. We will talk to Mike in a little bit, but we've got a number of really big headlines going on around the state, so let's get right to it. Starting off with the ceasefire that was announced for Gaza and Israel just yesterday. Eden Alexander, a 20-year-old Israeli soldier with roots in Tenafly, is among the American hostages expected to be released during the second phase of a new ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas. His father, Adi Alexander, who resides here in New Jersey, expressed optimism for the first time in over a year following the announcement of the 42-day ceasefire, which includes provisions for hostage releases.
The ceasefire, brokered with the assistance of international mediators, outlines a phased approach to releasing hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners held by Israel. While the initial phase focuses on releasing women, children, the elderly, and the injured, Eden is anticipated to be freed in the subsequent phase. The agreement has brought hope to families in New Jersey and beyond who are eagerly awaiting the safe return of their loved ones. That is unimaginable.
I just can't. I mean, he's, I think only 20 years old, this kid, and so saw an interview with his dad last night, and just, it's like, it's my kid. I just want him home,
Of course, of course.
So really, really happy to see that, hopefully there's some resolution there, and, maybe we can kind of start to...
For sure, praying for continued progress on that front.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. Also here in New Jersey on Monday, all schools in Montclair were closed because of a security concern after a district staff member, Amir Doctry, allegedly posted a threat on social media. Now, Doctry posted a video in which he made erratic statements and threats, including references to his school shooting and specific individuals. Doctry was on administrative leave at the time and was arrested in Philadelphia, charged with making terroristic threats.
The closure caught many parents and students off guard, leading to confusion and concern within the community. Authorities have since assured residents that there is no further danger and schools have reopened. The Essex County Prosecutor's Office and the FBI are involved in the ongoing investigation, with additional charges against Doctry pending. Always super scary when it has something to do with the schools.
With the schools and your kids. And it's funny, so I was a resident of Montclair for many years, so I'm still in contact with a lot of my neighbors there, and they were discussing it kind of in our group chat where they were like, what is going on? We can't believe schools were canceled. And then when they heard the reason why, they were like, you know what? It's fine. We're happy to keep them home.
It's probably hard to balance giving information and withholding, because it's the lack of information that makes people scared and anxious and causes stories to
circulate.
Come out. But then sometimes too much information kind of allows for the same thing.
I say that, then you're really
like
stuck between a rock and a hard place. Absolutely.
Well, I'm glad they've rectified that. No one was hurt. And
and they were able to. And I don't know if you saw the video that this guy posted. Really was off the walls.
See it.
Yeah, it is erratic is a good word for it. It's just it's nonsensical. So
such a shame.
Yeah. Another thing that's probably not going to make a whole lot of sense. New Jersey's 2025 gubernatorial race set to be one of the least transparent in recent history. That is because of the 2023 Elections Transparency Act. Now, this law allows independent groups to raise and spend unlimited funds with minimal disclosure requirements. Now, these groups are only mandated to report their donors 11 days before a primary election, significantly reducing the public's ability to track campaign financing in real time.
The upcoming election features a crowded field of 10 major candidates vying to succeed Governor Phil Murphy. The relaxed disclosure rules are expected to lead to an influx of outside money, making financial influence a more critical factor in the race.
It's like the thing we need the least in politics in general right now is less transparency, more money coming in from
as you're reading that.
God knows who.
You're like, what are we talking?
Please make it make sense.
That's like something that's real. And there's 10. That's a lot.
Well, and it's funny. So 10 is a lot, but if you think about it, the financing is the thing that kind of keeps people in the race, right? If you can market yourself and get your campaign out, but now if you can raise money from
however
unlimited sources, then it's going to be interesting.
And something even
You know
more
what? Thankfully,
interesting.
we have, and she's recently been awarded our own Laura Jones here on New
Yes,
Jersey,
yes.
an incredible political journalist who knows her stuff, who knows what's real and not. So definitely
Tune
worth
into
paying
her,
attention to for sure.
For sure. Thank goodness for Laura here. Well, coming up, find out how to keep your family healthy amid this winter cold weather.
Speaking of that cold winter weather, meteorologist Mike Favetta is here. Mike, the car said 15 this morning. I was not a happy girl.
Ridiculous. It is really cold. But it's the wind, too. It's the wind that makes it
Yes.
really harsh. I mean, just stepping outside, it's like nature slapping you in the face, waking you up. You don't even need that cup of coffee. Just look into the outdoors with air that is that cold, and it feels even colder with the wind chill. We started off this morning, like you said, Cara, 15 degrees. Right now, we've warmed to 18 up in Sussex, 25 over in Newark, 19. That's an actual air temperature in Toms River and 21 in Ship Bottom, but there is some wind. And with that wind factored in, the wind chill makes it feel like 9 this morning in Sussex. Feels like 15 in Flemington, 11 in Mount Holly, and 11 in Atlantic City. Those winds coming from the south and west, which typically would drive in some warmer air. Not the case, because it's that wind direction pushing in from the north and west that will kind of freeze us in for the upcoming weekend. There are wind gusts today up to about 15 to 20 miles per hour, but the wind kind of relaxes over the next few days. So some better news there, less wind, but that also brings in a better chance of some snow. And that is our next weather system that comes in once we get into the weekend. There might even be some snow later on this evening for some parts of New Jersey. It is colder than this time yesterday, anywhere from between 2 and 5 degrees colder. So the temperature just keeps on falling. And here's our next weather system. Right now it's working in from the west. It'll deliver a little bit of light snow for central and south Jersey, maybe up to an inch later on tonight. So it's a quick hitting system which moves on in and then quickly out. But the main concern is for Sunday night. That could be a more potent system, dropping anywhere from 2 to as much as 4 inches of snow central and south. And the north kind of is not getting a whole lot of snow this winter, especially with that very interesting pattern keeping all of our snow to our south. But the forecast on the higher end points to anywhere from that 2 to 4 inch range, say 195 south. I really have to head toward extreme parts of South Jersey, south of the Atlantic City Expressway, to pick up any sort of meaningful accumulation. Again, maybe just flurries up to an inch in the northwest corner of the state. We'll talk more about that system and give you more details on what to expect with that weekend snow coming up with your next weather update.
Nothing has ever been handed to me. I've had to work for it. On the field and off the field. Kane worked with me, guided me, helped me climb higher, to get where I belong, to change my life.
Hey, welcome to the team.
Cougars climb higher. Kane University.
Welcome back. An 18-year-old senior at Ridgewood High School, Johnny Jackson, was diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma back in July. Now, despite undergoing 12 chemotherapy treatments, Jackson has continued to excel on the basketball court. His determination was evident when he scored 30 points in a victory over St. Joseph's of Montvale just days after he had a chemotherapy session.
That is something. And supported by his family, teammates, and coach, Jackson remains optimistic about his future. He completed his final chemotherapy treatment this week and is scheduled for a PET scan in mid-February to confirm if he is cancer-free. In the meantime, he continues to pursue his goal of reaching 2,000 career points and leading his team toward a state championship. I can't wait until we can report that he has hit his goal.
Yes.
They're on their way to the championship.
Absolutely.
And
cancer.
things.
That's the kind of determination that'll get you through anything, though.
For
I mean,
sure.
that's incredible. I can't imagine
Yeah.
the exhaustion of chemotherapy and then being a student on top of it,
Yes.
because you got to maintain
Yes.
that, and a star athlete.
Yeah, there's something special inside him for
Absolutely.
sure. For sure.
Absolutely.
Now, this week's weather will remain below freezing with gusty conditions, yay, calling for us to once again bundle up as if there's been something different going on.
Right.
But beyond goosebumps, did you know there are a number of sneaky ways the cold can affect your body and your health? Here to explain is Assistant Emergency Department Medical Director at Hackensack University Medical Center, Dr. Jared Dikowski. Good morning, doctor. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you. Glad everyone made it there and everyone's looking relatively warm where they are.
Yes, it's nice and cozy here in the studio for sure. So, doctor, what are some of the risks that folks can experience when they're out in the cold?
There's numerous. I think the ones we're most familiar with are the ones that we experience due to direct exposure to the cold. So hypothermia, if you're out in the cold for a long time, if you're not properly dressed, your core body temperature will actually drop. And that's extremely dangerous. That could even be life-threatening. Certainly exposure of your tissues, particularly your extremities, like your hands and your feet to the cold, can lead to things like frostbite. But there's a number of other health risks that the cold poses that I think are people are a little less familiar with, I should say.
And how and why can extreme cold be dangerous for people with pre-existing health conditions? Do they suffer a little bit more?
They do, especially those that have vascular conditions like heart conditions, those that are at risk for strokes. We do see increased episodes of heart attacks and strokes in the cold weather. And this is for a number of reasons. When your core body temperature drops, your body has to work harder to maintain its temperature. And that increased work can put a strain on the heart. We exert ourselves more in the cold weather. If you're shoveling snow or if you're trudging through the ice, that's exercise. And if you're someone whose body can't tolerate too much exercise, that can put you at risk.
Doctor, for moms everywhere, can you put this one to rest? Will physically being cold give you a cold or the flu?
That's a very good question. And some of my friends and family may they may disagree with what I'm going to say, but I think there's a common misconception that the cold itself weakens your immune system. Now, to some degree, that may be true. Your body does have some defenses that are affected by the cold, but I think a lot of what we see when we see this surge in viruses during the winter months is attributable to other things that the cold is causing, but it's not necessarily impacting your immune system directly. So, for example, when it's cold, it's not very humid outside. Viruses spread on droplets. So when we cough, when we sneeze, these little droplets of fluid spread. And if they get you, you're at risk for contracting that virus. When it's warmer outside and it's more humid, those droplets meet with other droplets that are hanging out in the air. They get heavier and they fall to the ground. So they don't travel as far. So that's probably one reason we see a surge in viruses during the winter. We also spend more time indoors. I don't think we should discount the fact that we're probably closer together in tighter spaces, and so we're more at risk of transmission.
Now I'm getting why the norovirus goes through second and first grade classrooms like that.
So quickly.
Okay, I'm understanding this more. And now the cold, it can also have an impact on our mental health as well. Is that correct?
That's correct. We talk a lot about physical health when we warn people against exposure. We warn people to protect themselves from viruses, especially if you're at risk for health diseases, if you have a young child at home, if you're an elderly individual. But the psychological aspects of our health are very important. I mentioned before we spend more time indoors in the cold weather, and hopefully we're spending time with friends, with loved ones, and socializing. But for some people, that may be more difficult. And the cold weather can lead to social isolation. You're spending more time inside, the sun is going down earlier. That can have a big impact on our mental health. So be cautious about your physical health, take the right precautions, but be aware of your mental health. Make sure that you're still engaging in social activities, speaking to friends and loved ones. That's just as important.
So, doctor, you just mentioned a few of them. What are some of the best ways to prevent illness during the cold weather months? And if we do find ourselves, as I have a 3-month-old son, he got his first case of the sniffles, we're dealing with it, but now everybody else caught a cold. What are some of the best ways to treat these illnesses as well?
I'll start by saying I've got a 2-year-old daughter at home, and so for my family, it's very difficult to avoid, but there are precautions that you can take. So, first and foremost, keep warm. If you're going out in the cold, wear right clothing, protect the trunk of your body, your chest, your stomach. That's going to help you retain heat. Wear mittens, wear the right boots. stay warm. If you're someone that's at risk for heart disease, then be careful with exertion. Be cautious when you're shoveling snow. Don't exert yourself too much. Be cautious about sweating. The last thing you want is for you to be out in the cold and then get wet and have that dampness make your exposure worse. To protect yourself from viruses, if you're in close quarters with people, especially those that have symptoms, wear a mask. If you can, stay 6 feet apart or more from folks that have symptoms of viruses, do so. Those are some of the ways you can help protect yourself.
And where can we learn more information?
There's several resources. Health University is a series of articles that our institution puts out. I encourage people to look those up. They can offer you this information and more about how to protect yourself. But there's other resources as well. The CDC, the American Heart Association. If you go to any one of these websites, they'll offer you tips and tricks on how to keep yourself and your family safe in the winter months.
Awesome. Dr. Jared Dikowski, thank you so much for joining us from Hackensack University Medical Center. We appreciate your time and your insight and your tips this morning. We will keep them in mind as we all battle the sniffles this winter. Thank you. Thank you. You as well.
Oh, now I get it. The whole stuff about like the droplets, and I'm like, why isn't sickness running rampant in the summer the same way it does in the winter? What's the difference?
It's it's all that. You're outdoors more. You're that humidity does really make a difference. That humidifier has been running for weeks now in our room.
I mean, the more you know,
yes,
right?
There you go.
Well, something a little bit more warm and fuzzy here. Coming up, we have the Swedish, like not Swedish fish. I'm already thinking of my favorite sweet treat. We all have the we will have the sweetest treats and recipes for Valentine's Day. It's going to be good.
It's going to be good. But first, you're probably going to want to bundle up with your sweetie this weekend, right, Meteorologist Mike Favetta?
Yeah, your tongue is frozen. That's
I could not get that out. I saw
it's too cold. It's all about.
She saw sweet treats and recipes and got real excited.
I know. I was like, something
food?
that's not talking about the cold. Look at this. I can warm everybody up with these good vibes. No.
You can blame that dry air that the doctor was talking about. So dry, so terrible. But like you mentioned, in the summertime you have more humidity, so it just kind of gives you that energy. It makes you feel a little bit better.
Yes.
Given how cold and dry it's been. Well, there is some moisture on the way in the form of some light snow. It may come as soon as this evening here across New Jersey. You can already see it entering the picture here from the left side of the screen. Some snow showers falling over Pennsylvania. This is what arrives later on today. I think it happens during the tail end of the evening rush and may give a little bit of a coating across some parts of central and southern New Jersey. It's cold today, with today's average high should be at 40. We only hit 35 degrees, so it stays cold throughout the evening, but the sun sets closer to 5 p.m., so looking better and better. The wind won't be as harsh heading into the weekend. It's still gusty. It's still chilly. The forecast wind chill remains in the teens later on tonight, especially after 9 o'clock. Could even drop near the single digits, gets down to about 11 tomorrow morning, and stays cold into tomorrow afternoon. But then look what happens. A little bit of a wind shift, allowing for highs to feel like they're back up in the 20s and 30s even. That by Saturday with a wind off of the water. Notice that wind direction providing a big shift, allowing for temperatures to surge up beyond freezing. What does that mean for our weekend weather? Well, first, we have to get through tonight. A little bit of light snow. You may see some flurries in the northwestern corner of the state, but likely a little burst of flurries toward the tail end of the evening commute around 6 o'clock there from Medford, Camden, Mount Holly, shifting east over toward Monmouth and Ocean County, and then kind of dissipating and really diminishing over places like Morristown and Newark as soon as 9 or 10 o'clock. That's why likely won't be much of an accumulation there, but could be up to an inch, maybe a dusty coating on the car tops by tomorrow morning. Then we start off cold tomorrow. It stays chilly for the first half of the day, noticing a milder trend by the afternoon, especially into Saturday, where the temperatures climb back up into the low 40s. Now, this one computer weather model has a lot of the energy offshore by 6 o'clock Saturday night. There may be another surge of moisture that comes in for Sunday, like I showed you before, that gives us that 2 to 4 inches central and south. But as far as tonight into tomorrow morning snow, it's very light. less than an inch statewide. And I think we'll see just that light dusting once we get into tomorrow afternoon. So for the Saturday highs, notice they climb pretty well with that wind off of the water well into the mid 40s, cooler north and west with the shade of blue, but still noticeably milder. And then we start to see the temperature dip down into the low 40s and upper 30s as the snow gets going later on Sunday night. Watch what happens here. Between Sunday into Monday, a big drop. We plummet down into the 20s. These are highs on Monday, allowing for some very cold weather to settle in and stick around for most of next week. So weather gets pretty active. Later tonight, light snow. It's back to sunny tomorrow. Saturday, potential for some showers with some wet weather as the temperature is a little too warm for snow. And then, depending on the track of Sunday night system, could be looking at another round of light snow again going into Monday morning. We'll break that down for you coming up with another check of your weather update right here on the New Jersey Morning Show in just a few minutes.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. So a recent study by PlayNJ.com crowned King Ka at Six Flags Great Adventure America's best roller coaster for thrill seekers, scoring a perfect 100 out of 100. King Ka stands 456 feet tall and reaches a top speed of 128 miles per hour, not only dominating the list, but also boasts a length of 3,118 feet.
Second place went to Cedar Point's Top Thrill 2 in Ohio, scoring 92 with its 420-foot height and 120-mile-per-hour speed. Despite this accomplishment, fans are still saddened to hear that Six Flags has officially announced King Ka's closure and is set to be replaced with a new ride this next summer.
Are you a roller coaster person?
I am, but I don't. I feel like in recent years I've been like a little bit more apprehensive.
I don't know about apprehensive, but I've suddenly developed a slight bit of motion sickness where like I used to be a total thrill seeker. I was like, sign me up, I'll do any of them, and now I'm like, we're a little dizzy.
But that one's really.
Have you been on that one?
I have not.
I did it once. I lost my voice on it, screaming. It's not only the height and the speed, it's the incline. You go straight down.
Wow.
It's terrifying.
And I think those like slingshot rides they have on the boardwalk.
Yes.
I've done that.
I've done that one too, exactly.
And I think that's pretty crazy. You like lose your breath up at the top.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine.
That one's wild. I am kind of sad to hear that they're getting rid of it, but I'm curious to see what they replace it with. Great Adventure is a wonderful theme park. It's a lot of fun.
they can't make anything any taller, right?
I don't-
like that's what scares
That
me.
I was gonna say, I don't know. I'm like, maybe that's it. Like they found a new way to engineer something even more wild. We'll
I
see.
don't know. I don't know.
We'll have to see. A little closer to the ground and definitely more delicious. It's almost Valentine's Day, which means there's lots of chocolates and cookies and sweets out there. But for those who might be gluten-free or diagnosed with celiac disease, these treats might be a little harder to find. So here with this best solution is founder and CEO of Mightylicious Gluten-Free Foods, Carolyn Haler. Carolyn, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Oh, we're excited. So tell us all about Mightylicious. What inspired you to start this company?
Yeah, I didn't have celiac disease as a kid. I was diagnosed at 31, and at the time I was working on Wall Street. And the diagnosis really changed my life dramatically. Gluten is in a lot of foods, not just pasta and bread, but it's used as a colorant, it's used as a filler, it's also used as a preservative. So you'll find it in everything from Coca-Cola to ginger ale. You'll find it in spices like cinnamon. It's also sometimes used in cold cuts as a preservative. So that really changes your life dramatically as an adult. And I started eating gluten-free products that were available at the time, and I realized a trend for most of those products. Most of the products were created by a parent of a kid who had a really severe food allergy. So there was a lot of sympathy, a lot of love in those products, but not necessarily empathy, because when you're a parent creating a product for a kid, you're not living that lifestyle. You're not dealing with that on the day-to-day as an adult with adult needs. Like I can't go out after work and, get a cold beer if I want to. That's no longer an option for me as an adult. And there's all these things that we do as adults that help us sort of cope with the stresses of our lives that children don't ever have to think about. So I just wanted to create a product that was palatable, that was delicious, that reminded me of all those comfort foods that I enjoyed growing up as a child and as an adult, but that was gluten-free and better for you and that would nourish my body. And so I spent 3 months developing Mightylicious cookies, walked into a Whole Foods on the Upper West Side of New York and just looking for some feedback. And they were like, this is the best cookie. We'll take it.
Wow.
That was a Thursday, and I was being onboarded to Whole Foods on a Monday, and we've just been taking off since then. We are now distributed in almost all 50 states. We're even in Alaska and Hawaii, and we have an online presence, and we're available on Amazon, Walmart, Giant, all over the U.S. So it's been really successful.
That's incredible. What a great story.
Yeah.
And I love, to your point, that a lot of these gluten-free products are parents of children who are dealing with it, but you're right. There's not a lot of people who are like, no, as an adult, I have to live this way, and I would like some adult flavored foods, perhaps. What are some of your most popular Mightylicious products?
Our number one best-selling, so we have 7 cookie flavors, and it really, like, whenever anyone asks me that question, it depends on who you are. Are you a vanilla person, a chocolate person, or a peanut butter person, right? So we have a double Dutch chocolate. We have 2 chocolate chip. We have a brown butter chocolate chip that's gluten-free and kosher. Then we have a vegan chocolate chip for anyone, because everyone who doesn't love chocolate chip. And then we have a salted peanut butter cookie that only has 5 ingredients. The 2 main ingredients are peanut butter, sugar. It's absolutely, if you're a peanut butter person, this is your cookie. So it depends on who you are, but my number one bestseller is our vegan oatmeal coconut, which again was created at the request of Whole Foods. They're like, we love your gluten-free cookies, Carolyn, but vegan is really growing. We're getting more and more requests for plant-based products that are gluten-free, better for you, and taste good. Can you do this? And I was like, well, I will try. And I took a 100-year-old recipe from my wife's side of the family and converted it to be gluten-free and vegan. It is our number one bestseller.
Wow.
After that is, of course, our brown butter chocolate chip, because it's the first cookie I ever created. Is absolutely divine and delicious. And we actually, given the success of our vegan gluten-free cookies, we actually last year launched 4 vegan gluten-free cookies. So 4 of our 7 cookies are now vegan and completely plant-based, non-GMO and kosher, and absolutely divine and indulgent and delicious.
Wow.
Those sound amazing. And I love that your bestseller is a family
Recipe, I know.
That's great. And beyond some of the cookies, you're telling us that, Carolyn, you've lived this gluten-free life. Do you have any favorite recipes for people who are looking to cook gluten-free this Valentine's Day?
Yes, actually. So I love to bake. I love to cook, as is obvious, I think, from my occupation. But I now have a 3-year-old and a 7-month-old. And for all those busy parents out there, all those busy professionals, all of those people who maybe don't love to bake, we're launching flour blends. So if you love brownies, The best treat on Valentine's Day, of course, is chocolate. So you want to give someone decadent, indulgent chocolate. Purchase our brownie mix. It's available at MightyLicious.com. Get a heart-shaped cookie cutter, cut them into hearts, put a little Hershey kiss on it, and you will be the most popular person in the room.
I do love a brownie.
Yes.
That might be one of my, it's like top 3 baked goods.
Good
A good fudgy brownie.
Now,
for
do you
sure.
like the
Of course.
edges of the pan or the
Gotta
middle?
be, yeah, no, I like the edge. I want the
Okay,
corner
yeah,
piece.
that's- What about you, Carolyn? Are you corner piece or are you the middle?
I like the middle.
All right.
Good,
there
we can
go.
share a tray then. We're okay. What else is next for Mighty Licious? So you talked about the brownie mix. Are there any other new products on the horizon or stuff that you're working on?
Yes, yeah. So one of the hardest things about gluten-free baking is actually the fact that most flour-based gluten-free flours are rice-based, but rice is actually not manufactured for baking. It's manufactured for cooking. And I buy rice by the truckload, like the tractor truckload.
Yes.
I'm buying tons of rice. So I have a lot of leverage with the manufacturers, and I couldn't for years find a rice that was milled fine enough to be able to get the texture and the quality of the baked good that is required. So we actually decided to work directly with the mills and give them the spec and say, mill the rice flour to this spec so that we can use it in baking. And so we've launched our rice flour. We have 3 blends. We have the brownie mix, we have a gluten-free, and we have a vegan flour blend. We're launching in February in Kroger's across the United States. And you can purchase it online at MightyLicious.com. And it's going to solve all your gluten-free problems, because when you bake gluten-free, oftentimes the recipe just doesn't work. And that's not your fault. It's the flour blend. This flour blend is going to work. It's the only flour blend that I can bake with. And we've learned the hard way of working with different suppliers and them telling us this is the spec, we meet your spec, and then it just not working. That is how dramatically sensitive baking gluten-free is. So now you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to go into the gluten-free aisle and deal with all those flours that are using rice flour that isn't milled for baking. You can just purchase ours, and anything you make, from pancakes to cookies to cakes for the holidays, are going to come out perfect the first time and every time.
I'm really excited about that. You're really solving all of the problems, because I would say I've tried to bake one-to-one the gluten-free flours, and it's okay, but it's
never
it's
quite
rough.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough. So I'm excited to try that. And you said MightyLicious.com is where we can purchase, and you're in stores across the nation. Is there any other way we can keep up with Mighty Licious?
Yes, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter, Mighty Licious.
Very cool. Carolyn Haler, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it. And now I'm hungry, so thank you for your time and your information. Thanks again.
Thank you. Bye.
I'm really excited about that flour.
You know what? She made a lot of good points. I used to cook for a daycare, and these kids were gluten free, dairy free. So I mean,
yes,
I
tree
literally,
nut free,
yeah.
soy free.
So coming up with stuff, was certainly a challenge. But it's fun, like when you love food, right? Like sometimes it's fun to be like, okay, I got to stay within this container.
For sure.
But stuff like that would have made life very
so much
easy.
easier. Looking forward to checking that out and continuing with our little Valentine's Day segment here. Coming up, how to stay safe this Valentine's Day.
But first, let's check that weather with meteorologist Mike Favetta. Mike, we're a little far out from Valentine's Day. I don't know that you can actually predict anything, but we're probably going to have to be cozied up then too, huh?
It is. It's that time of year where statistically we have the coldest part of the year that comes in, the coldest air of the season. And that's what it looks like on the long range. So if you, Cara, or Dina plan to get out this weekend, be sure to bundle up in every layer possible, because going into Monday, we'll have wind chills down below 0.
Nope.
And
Nope.
Tuesday, actual air temperatures not leaving the teens, like the coldest air yet.
No.
So really, really cold. I know. It's something when I saw the forecast, I'm like, no, that's not right.
That's unacceptable,
that can't
Michael.
be.
Try again.
I'm going to be getting some milk for some hot chocolate. That's what I'll be doing, and I'll be cranking up that gas fireplace.
In the blanket.
If you look at the bright side, when you go grocery shopping and you buy like all the frozen items, you can just leave them in the car and
Leave
go
them
through
outside,
the
yeah.
Because
Oh my gosh.
driving around a walk-in freezer.
It's so funny you mentioned that, because during the winter, I can food shop and then run another errand after, because my car is so cold. I don't have to worry about running it. All right, no one needs to know
Continue.
that.
Go ahead.
Anyway,
It's
we
fine.
do need to know the weather.
It's all important. It's about saving money, right? Go to the big box store and your stuff is still frozen 3 hours later. So that is the type of weather we have, especially this weekend and moving into next week, because that air will be so chilly. There is a little bit of a milder trend after we get that little bit of a dusting of snow later Thursday evening. Notice that by Saturday's highs, they'll reach the 40s, but it's another round of very cold air that comes in on Sunday, which will help promote for that snow to fall, specifically central and southern New Jersey. New Jersey in the northern section of the state, not really getting a whole lot of snow this winter, and that again is the case, especially if you're in Sussex County, snow country, not exactly living up to its mantra this year. And then going into next week, Monday, Tuesday timeframe, wait till you see that 7-day. It is kind of a bone chilling. Now for this weekend, with those temperatures again climbing into the mid 40s on Saturday, there could be some light rain that comes down as that wind works in off of the water, but that just sets the stage for the potential for that snow on Sunday evening. This is the one weather model that completely misses our chances of snow for Sunday night. I don't know if it'll actually come to fruition. I don't think so. There's a better chance of seeing some light snow accumulation. That's what the other weather model shows right here. Starting off Sunday night, going into early Monday morning, it takes a closer track, closer to New Jersey's coastline, giving us that shade of blue beginning as early as Sunday afternoon, and then lasting through Sunday night. After sunset, you see those darker shades of blue down through Atlantic City and Cape May. That could give us a little bit of an accumulation, upwards of 2, 3, 4 inches of snow down toward the coast. But again, northeastern sections of the state, maybe a coating, a dusting. Northwestern section of the state toward Sussex and Warren County, little to nothing this round, as again, it's a predominantly eastern moving system that moves out very quickly by Monday morning, followed by some brutally cold air. So we'll take you hour by hour, the wider picture showing that system getting going again in the mid-Atlantic states where they've had really well above average amounts of snow. But here we are in New Jersey, kind of in this snow hole. Can't get any more than a few inches at a time, with our next round coming in later Sunday night, tracking up the coast, and then quickly moving out. For Monday morning, it'll just be locking in the cold by Tuesday and Wednesday, with that frigid weather sticking around even through the better part of next week. So with the futurecast showing that system moving in, again, it's a little light round of snow later on Thursday night. Moves out quickly, back to the sunshine on Friday, and then the rain likely comes in on Saturday evening, but it's that system that quickly pulls away on Sunday that could give us our little bit of an accumulation. So how much are we talking? It could be anywhere from less than an, let me go back to that. It should be anywhere from less than an inch in the northwestern corner of the state, right there through Sussex and Morris County. That's the Thursday night snow. And then as we head into Sunday evening, notice the numbers here popping up, 2, 3, 4 inches. On the extreme, upwards of 4 to 8 inches, but again, really the lower end of these amounts. So 2, 3, or 4 inches south of 195 is the best bet. Maybe a dusting to an inch again in the northern sections of the state, and little to nothing up there towards Sussex and Warren County. So it's a light round of snow that kind of sets the stage for, well, a very cold start to next week. These are our highs by Monday and Tuesday, 26 on Monday, a high of 18. Let me say that again, a high of 18 on Tuesday, a low on Wednesday morning of 7, and this will be well below 0 to the points north and west, and then we get back up to 21 on Wednesday. So this is really the core of that Siberian air that comes in for early next week and sticks around at least through Thursday. Better chances of snow in southern New Jersey, with highs climbing only to 40 and then dropping off later on Sunday night down into the 20s. So plenty cold for it to snow and stick around. And yes, another round of those single digits at the shore, with the afternoon highs just making it above to 20 degrees. Very, very chilly weather going forward. Well, we've got more details coming up on what to expect right down to your neighborhood right here on New Jersey as the morning show continues after this.
Welcome welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. So there was a recent ranking of the best malls in the U.S., and they placed New Jersey's American Dream in third place, highlighting its vast array of 450 stores, 41 dining options. The mall stood out for its variety, making it a haven for shoppers looking for diverse options under one roof. American Dream offers unique attractions like an indoor ski slope and theme parks, distinguishing it from more traditional shopping destinations.
Topping the list was Minnesota's Mall of America for its free parking, extensive directory of 483 stores, and generous opening hours. Pennsylvania's King of Prussia Mall ranked second. While American Dream did not match the top two malls in parking or crowd management, its focus on providing both retail and entertainment experiences positions it as a standout destination for shoppers seeking more than just stores. And we know that from experience.
I was going to say, we got to do our holiday special there, end of year special. And it really, I went once when they had just first opened and not everything was kind of up and running. So we really just walked around. But to get to be there and see, it's a great place for kids.
It's huge.
It's huge.
And it has the Nickelodeon theme park.
There's
really
a Legoland, there's an aquarium.
Yep.
There is so much stuff that you can, and so it really is, and I think that was the purpose of the way they built it as they were explaining it to us, where you're not just going to go shop. It's a whole experience. It's a day. It's a theme park, quite frankly. I mean, it really is.
It is. It's like a mini, like little Disney World.
And it's great. Yeah, I know a lot of folks. Again, my guy's too little, but your daughter might enjoy. I mean, it's a good thing on like a rainy Saturday if you can't take them somewhere.
We love the Nickelodeon theme park. We've been there, and I love that they have H Mart there now. That's so cool.
That is a good one. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I've gotten some good rice balls there. Okay. Anyway.
So it's very popular for people to meet friends and potential love interests online these days, but it is, of course, important to keep in mind that not everyone is who they say they are behind the screen. So online romance fraud has been a growing issue in recent years, and this Valentine's season, AARP New Jersey State Director Chris Widello is here to help us stay safe online. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Now, this is a really interesting topic. You've heard of catfishing. There's a whole like MTV show about it now, so it's kind of a popular theme. But clue us in a little bit more. What is online romance fraud, and why is it so dangerous?
Sure. And it's not just something that happens as we approach Valentine's Day either. This is something that has been going on really since, online dating and then social media. It's an easy way for people to prey on a victim's, and they are victims, emotions, their desire to have companionship or seek love. And it's unfortunate because it's often involves not only just the emotional devastation when you find out that this is a fraud, but also it can become very costly. In the last 5 years, it's cost people roughly $1.5 billion. And it's one of the highest, it's one of the biggest fraud categories, according to the Federal Trade Commission. And, it affects people generally between 40 and older. So people from 40 to 69 report losing money to these fraudsters. Criminals is really what they are. And then the 70 and older population seem to be more disproportionately impacted, seeing a median loss of around $9,000, in each instance. So it's really unfortunate, and and it is a crime. There's just many ways that they perpetrate this.
So, Chris, why are, it seems, as you were just explaining to us, why are the older you get, the more likely you are to be a victim? Why are those the folks that are being targeted?
Yeah, well, one is sometimes they have, they have some disposable income, right? They have some savings, they have money to be taken, and so. Or they're in a position where they're maybe not as familiar with the protocols of online dating or using social media, and being aware of the different things that can come up, right? But also while it is older people, it's people who are looking for a connection, whether socially or whether romantically, and they fall under this ether, we call it, right? They're just, they become captivated. They're invested in this. They're enjoying the companionship, and it often leads to that request for some type of money, right? And it's often payments that you can't be traced: gift cards, cryptocurrency, electronic vouchers, things like that. And the request becomes more and more and more until maybe they realize that this just isn't going to work, or they never get to meet the person. I mean, there's kind of a process that they go through to bring people to this point.
So you're mentioning cryptocurrency, gift cards. If somebody's asking for money in those types of mediums, that's a red flag. Are there any other red flags that people can be aware of, maybe even before they hit that asking point of money?
Yeah, there are, and I think one of the first ones is that there's a reluctance to ever meet in person, right? So there are plans, oh, we should meet sometime, but that date keeps getting pushed away, or their plans come up. Often it's somebody who is from the United States but is traveling out of the country. They're not here, and so it makes it difficult for them to quote unquote meet up or to get together. Another piece is people will find that in the interaction, the person on the other side perpetrating this is falling in love very quickly, right? They profess that they are really into this person. They're falling in love in a time frame that just doesn't seem realistic or natural. Also, they are interested, especially if they're on a dating app or even social media. They want to take the conversation offline to email or to texting, and avoid using a dating app because of some of the safeguards that are there, or they want to have a more personal connection. So those are all red flags if that conversation is moving that way, and it's really a sign for you to take action.
And Chris, where can folks go to kind of learn more information and just other ways to protect themselves, or maybe they're concerned and they're, kind of want that bullet point list of, where can I get those tick marks?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first thing is, if you feel like you are a victim of some type of scam, is to cut off any communication altogether, right? The first thing to do is stop, cut off the communication, don't engage that person. And if you're on a dating app, report it to the dating app to let them know that you feel like you've been taken advantage of. The other thing is you can, call your local police department, and especially if money was involved, there was money that was turned over, to let them know about this crime. It is a crime. These are victims who have been, targeted. AARP has what we call our Fraud Watch Network, and it's free advice for members or non-members. You don't have to be an AARP member. That will help coach you through what you can do and what options you may have. Not only are they giving you advice, they're also a sympathetic ear and someone that you can that can help you through the emotional piece, which is a big piece of it. It's all tied in there.
Oh, 100%.
And if you would like more, if you would like more information on that, it's aarp.org/fraud watch network. And these are volunteers who are trained to not only give you advice about how to, what you need to do in that moment, but can also provide some, light counseling to help you through this difficult time.
What a great resource. Chris Wadello, New Jersey State Director for AARP, thank you so much for joining us this morning, for your information and your tips. And again, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, interesting stuff. That's always... It's hard to hear. Your heart kind of breaks for them, right? Because it's like you want to find this person and, to get duped in that way.
Well, they're preying on people that are obviously emotional and seeking.
Yeah.
Now, coming up, find out which new bakery is opening in New Jersey.
But first, let's check that weather with meteorologist Mike Favetta.
Hopefully that bakery serves a lot of hot chocolate, a lot of coffee, a lot of warm things, because you won't believe it until you see it. Monday afternoon's wind chill, 6 in Sussex, 13 in Toms River. How about Tuesday morning at 6 a.m.? -12 is how it will feel up in Sussex. -11 in Morristown, -12 in Flemington, and -8 in the Brick City. Tuesday morning, just about as cold, -10 up in Sussex, -5 in Camden, -6 on LBI. So this extreme cold that lingers through most of next week will really hit home, especially in the early mornings with that wind. The rest of the month is forecast to be slightly below average, obviously, with winds that cold. And that's really the case for most of the country. So we're not alone in that here in New Jersey. But as far as precipitation, we have equal chances of seeing wet weather. The good news is that going into next month for February, there will likely be above average chances of warmer weather. So some better news there, at least going forward into next month for some warmth. It's going to be cold after that little bit of snow later on Sunday night, clearing out for some bitter cold through most of next week. And that's also the case at the shore points. Can't even find some relief there. Overnight lows down in the single digits. We'll take another check of your forecast as the New Jersey Morning Show continues after this.
Nothing has ever been handed to me. I've had to work for it. On the field. And off the field. Kane worked with me. Guided me. Helped me climb higher. To get where I belong. To change my life.
Hey, welcome to the team.
Cougars climb higher. Kane University.
Welcome back. Good news. A new bakery is coming to New Jersey. Farmhouse Sweets, known for their handcrafted baked goods and their Pie of the Month Club, is opening its first brick and mortar store in Panther Valley Mall in Allamucky. Joining us now is pastry chef Rebecca Schuster. Welcome to the show, Rebecca.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thanks so much for joining us. So tell us a little bit about Farmhouse Sweets. How did you get started?
Well, I've always baked when I was a kid with my great-grandma, my grandma, my mom. So that kind of really got me into pastry. And also I love being creative and then being able to eat a great product totally, completely from scratch. I also love baking with local produce and products like that.
And so what led to your love of pastry and for you to decide to open your own bakery?
Well, I originally started thinking I was going to do the cottage operator's permit out of my home, but however, due to my golden retriever and my small farmhouse, I ended up deciding to go into the brick and mortar.
I love it. I like that the golden retriever was one of the reasons. So what are some of your signature dishes and your favorite items to make?
Well, one of my favorite items to bake are pies. They kind of really date back to my great grandma, my mom, my grandma. I always made a black raspberry pie, which unfortunately are hard to find, the black raspberries. I'm actually starting. I had a Pie of the Month Club, but I'm starting it here at the brick and mortar. For February, it's going to be Heartbreak Pie, which is going to be a chocolate cherry pie. And then every month I'll have a new flavor of pie.
Do you ship that pie? I do need to know that. Are you going to ship that Heartbreak Pie?
I do have to look into shipping items, yeah.
Well, don't worry. I'm just going to have to visit.
We'll drive
that.
for food.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, where can we learn more information about how we can get this Heartbreak Pie and where you're located?
Well, I have a website, farmhousesweets.com. You can also visit us here. I'm also on social media. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. And then you're always welcome to stop by.
Pastry chef Rebecca Schuster, thank you so much for joining us. Farmhouse Sweets, it sounds delicious. And you're open already in Allamucky, correct?
Yeah, we opened in November.
Perfect.
Yep.
That's it. We'll take a ride.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Sounds
Have
delicious.
a great day.
Have a great day.
Ooh, I got to get there for that pie. But I also need to learn how to say the name of the town correctly.
That's fine. Allamucky's a tough one. Yeah, I didn't know that for a long time.
Whoops. Well, one of the most prominent dance institutions in the Asian American community, the Nai Ni Chen Dance Company, is celebrating Lunar New Year this year at the NJ PAC. Here to tell us about it is Executive Director and Co-founder Andy Chang. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Happy Lunar New Year.
Oh, thank you. Same to you.
Happy New Year. Yeah. So it's always such a beautiful time of year and a celebration. Tell us about the dance company and what can audiences expect at NJPAC the February 1st and 2nd?
Well, first of all, if anybody wants good luck in the year, we're going to have Dragon Dance.
Ooh.
And of course, we also have the celebrated Lion Dance. This year, we're featuring a new Lion Dance, which involves lions doing hip hop.
Ooh.
Wow.
So, and then, of course, there are also new, very festive works, very colorful, full of gold and red, and a great, joyous time for families to come together and to enjoy it at NJPAC.
It sounds great. And this has become an annual celebration in Newark. Tell us about how it started and you already said the hip hop dance is new this year. Is there anything else you've added to the lineup?
Yes, well, to celebrate the coming of the year of the snake, which is the symbol of the year, it's all about transformation. It's all about the change. It's all about a prayer for good things happening. We're doing what we call a very, very lucky dance called the Dance of the Golden Snake. And you will see that it's a new piece. And also to celebrate the women's empowerment is the Legend of the White Serpent, which is a very well-known piece of Chinese literature. And we're doing all kinds of and also musicians as well are coming up to show you that authentic Chinese instruments. So lots of new things and wonderful festive atmosphere.
That sounds incredible. So tell us, you'd mentioned a couple of the different dances, one of the dragon, of the lion, and this is now going to be the year of the snake. Yeah. What is the historical importance of these dances and the animals, and what do they represent?
Well, first, of course, there are animals that existed, animals that are in our imagination. The dragon is a animal of imagination, but all these animals comes in because the Chinese art and the literature really involve a lot with nature, and nature is something that we honor and we believe as part of our lives. So it's really throughout our dances we're talking and wanting people to learn about the connection between us and nature. So this is the new year is a time to connect as well.
And is it correct to say the lion dance is the most popular dance performed in the Chinese New Year celebration?
I would say so. I think that especially today in the Asian American or Asian world, the Chinese diaspora, you see lion dance being performed almost everywhere.
Great stuff. So then where can folks go to get tickets and more information? How do we join you guys?
Well, come into njpac.org. You'll see the tickets being on sale there. And please go there early because they are running very fast. Also, we're having a free dragon parade at 11 a.m. On Saturday and Sunday on February 1st and 2nd. So those are the performance days at 2 p.m. So please come and join us at 11 a.m. to just watch the Dragon Parade around Newark to celebrate the fact that there was a very, very strong Chinatown in Newark many, many years ago. So let's so come, and again, as I said, besides the performance, there's also a lot of arts and crafts being displayed in the lobby as well. So just come and see the whole festival.
It sounds absolutely incredible. Andy Cheng, Executive Director and co-founder of Nine Yi Chen Dance Company. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. And Happy New Year once again to you.
Yes, Happy New Year. Happy the Year of the Snake.
Thank you.
Thank you.
NJPAC does such incredible stuff.
They've got everything.
They really do.
There. Can't be bored this winter if you're
Definitely
going to the NJPAC.
There's plenty going on. And there's been plenty going on here, but that does it for us today, at least, on the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Cara Falco.
And I'm Dina Deleasa Gonsar. More news, talk, and weather after this.